welcome to the final cost of living crisis video with me, Jack, and
Will.
You, Will. Yeah. Well done. I was Will. I didn't expect you thought I was going to call you Dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it. We've come to the end of our cost of living crisis videos, and we just want to look back over the previous weeks and talk about the advice and the support and everything we've spoken about. But we also want to acknowledge, Will, that the cost of living crisis is nowhere near over, and we will still be here doing all the stuff we've been talking about. And we don't do one of these every year, Will. We don't do a cost of living crisis every year. So it's been really important to give out some advice and try and get ahead of the crisis.
You're right. I mean, we always adapt and overcome, and when this whole issue started to raise its head, we knew that a lot of our friends were going to struggle, and we knew everybody was going to struggle. And part of that really was just to have the conversation about, let's put it out there, let's prepare for it. So even if you can manage, you're still managing, and there are costs coming downstream that are going to impact on every single household. So it's not just the folk that characterise House of Bread's friends, it's absolutely everybody. And I think for me that's the most worrying trend.
Well, and that's why we wanted to do these videos, because we wanted to breach that awkward bit between people who assume what our friends look like or their lifestyles or whatever, but the cost of living crisis is kind of widening and getting rid of that assumption. And a lot of what we spoke about, Will, was hey, look, you're just as worthy as people who need us all the time to come and grab support.
And that's really important when we are having conversations with people who are saying, I would never normally come in, I would never do this. And what we're trying to say basically is, it's okay. It's okay. And genuinely, whether it's you who are the viewer watching or whether you know somebody in the community, and this is another thing, people do not put out I need help flags. We come across this all the time. But I think what we're saying is just don't ignore it. We are all in this. Various degrees of issue and anxiety and worry and concern, and between us all, both the viewers watching and us, we should reach out to those communities of the individuals who are struggling and help them. It's really important.
I had a really important thing to say there, and then you said something and it made me think of a TV show. Then I started thinking about that TV show and I forgot the point. That's what I was going to say. We saw a couple of years ago in the pandemic how suddenly people were having to isolate, they couldn't get out to shop, and then suddenly they were calling a charity for a food bank saying, hey, how can I get some help? And we know that a lot of people out there, the cost of living crisis is affecting them. So if you need to use us, that's absolutely fine. We know from the pandemic that people needed to use us then, and then afterwards said, hey, look, thank you, I didn't realise how important you guys were. Here's some donations. So don't feel like you're taking anything away from anybody. We are here. House of Bread is here to help those who are vulnerable, who are homeless. That word vulnerable covers so many things. Cost of living crisis might make you financially vulnerable. It might make you foodly vulnerable. I don't know what the word is there.
Hungry.
Hungry. But if that's you and that's where you are, use us. And then when you don't need us, we'll still be here, still helping those other people. Yet the outpouring of support during the pandemic has meant that we can be more generous than ever at this really, really difficult time.
There is advice out there, and it comes at you in lots of different ways. Again, the assumption is everybody has access to the internet. That is not always the case. But
he says on a vlog that goes out on the internet.
But the point is that information is there, but it is quite complicated. And so therefore, again, if you need advice, we work with the Citizen Advice Bureau, there is no harm in speaking to somebody else and going, I don't quite get this. It's not that easy.
We've got a whole team of people who do casework. There's great support workers. If you need anything, somebody emailed me the other day. It wasn't even really relevant about what we do, but I was like, hey, no, I can point you in the right direction. We don't mind doing that at all. So yeah, looking out for people is important. If you need help, we've spoken, Will, about if your kids are at school, chatting to somebody at school. If you haven't got kids, somebody at a social group, or just getting in touch with us, you know, on Facebook or email, or, you know, giving us a call. There are people out there who will be able to support you. They will not be able to directly help you with things, but they might be able to point you in the right direction.
Don't isolate yourself. That was one of the specials we did. You know, if you go to a chess club or a library club or whatever it is, don't cut yourself off from that, because that social engagement and social connecting with folk is really, really important, because if you spend too much time in here on your own, that is not a good thing.
That's why Cafe 43 exists, to bridge that gap between socialising and food.
Yeah.
So yeah, some really, really important stuff. If you've missed any of these, do scroll down. They are all on Facebook. I will try and put them all up on YouTube at some point. If somebody would stop giving me so much work to do, I'd have time. That's probably not true. It's just a lot of work to do. If I did that every week, it would be easy, but I procrastinate. These are not House of Bread specific, these cost of living crisis videos. Like them, share them. Nextmeal.co.uk is a really important website. You just put your postcode in, or if it's a family member on the other side of the country, put their postcode in, and it will show you a charity like House of Bread, where they are, how far away they are, all their contact details, their website, what they do. Nextmeal.co.uk is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Will.
That's all right.
For trailing through the cost of living crisis videos with me. Thank you for watching them all. Like I said, if you've missed any, just scroll down, they're all there. Next, we'll be moving on to our summer campaign. This week, it's super, super warm. I think some places are getting up to 30 degrees. So we will be talking about the things we talk about yearly. What happens when you're homeless in the summer? Is it as dangerous as being homeless in the cold? All of that kind of thing. How to help somebody. What you can have on you if you see a homeless person in the sun. You know, it's this time of year is particularly difficult. I won't ruin anything, spoilers. But summer campaign is coming up, so look out for that. Right, I've said thank you to you. I've said thank you to you. So that just leaves me to shut up. So I will say goodbye.
Bye.